What's up, folks? Back with another reaction, back with more Arabesque. And once again, major shout out to Chafic for sharing their catalog, as well as the information about the different tracks and their place of release. And indeed, this is a track that was released in two countries, and it seems like an odd pairing. I get the idea of a single country release, you're targeting a very specific music market. But it's Canada and Japan was this track released in, and that does seem a bit odd. I mean, if you're going to release in North America and then East Asia, it feels like maybe you should just release it more broadly. But in any case, it was a Canada and Japan only release, and it's called Jingle Jangle Joe. I don't remember the name of it. It's something about Spurs, like my Spurs. But I remember there's this like country folk song that I've got Spurs that jingle jangle jingle, I think is the line. So it feels like it's playing off of that phrasing. I suppose it could just be independent or coincidental, but as I said, it feels like it's the phrase I remember hearing in that other song, which I don't remember who that's by, or I feel like that's maybe like a 50 song or something. But either way, I wonder who Jingle Jangle Joe will be. I wonder if the narrator, presumably a female character, what she will have to say about him, and what his role in jingling and jangling is. I'm not quite sure, if we're talking spurs and saddles and horses, or something a bit more, dance-oriented. Let's find out. This is Arabesque. The tune is Jingle Jangle Joe, and it's a track that was released in 1980 in Canada and Japan. I like that,
I was 4 and you were 5. You said to me,
got like more serious.
Remember, what did you play on your first guitar? Just for me, back in Barnes Bar. Remember. Jingle Jangle Joe, that is long ago.
I like that a lot.
Jingle Jangle Joe, you're a star I know.
You're a what?
You sing your songs around the world. You can have a million girls. Tell me, Jingle Jangle Joe, wants to love me so.
Sounds like trouble.
Why don't you know me anymore? Jingle Jangle Joe, wants to love me so. Why don't you know me anymore?
He's a jet-setting player who goes around the world and leaves women behind.
I heard about his talent too. I said, why don't you try it too? Remember, so overnight you became a star, and I'm still working in Barnes Bar. Remember,
So she was there before he got big.
Jingle Jangle Joe, that is long ago. Jingle Jangle Joe, you're a star I know. You sing your songs around the world. You can have a million girls. Tell me,
Again, be careful of that.
Joe wants to love me so. Why don't you know me anymore? Jingle Jangle Joe wants to love me so. Why don't you know me anymore? Jingle Jangle Joe wants to love me so. Why don't you know me anymore? Jingle Jangle Joe wants to love me so. Why don't you know me anymore? Why don't you know me anymore? Why don't you know me anymore?
Bubbling bass line.
Why don't you know me?
Yeah, it's fun. I think like fun is the word with that one. It's funny though, because like number one, there were the offset sections which had a bit more of a serious feel, And it is, like, in a way, a sad song because she's saying that she knew this guy before he became this international star and started flying around the world and, being with all these women. And he, clearly, he's taking advantage of his stardom and he's become this different person than she used to know. But suggesting that, he blew up overnight and maybe that, like, he didn't find his way into that world gradually and understanding, I think, as I suggested twice, the perils perhaps of suddenly having fame, fortune, and allure, and women coming to your shows and wanting to see you afterward and so on. So perhaps his eyes opened a bit too wide and he sort of has been indulging to the point where he's forgotten where he came from and this woman who was there for him like before is what it seems like. Again, maybe I'm missing interpretation of one or two of the lines I did here, and admittedly there were a couple lines where I didn't quite catch it, so or at least in part. So I'm not sure if that's what's happening, but that's what it felt like, that she knew him before he became this big star, and now he's going around maybe messing around with upwards of 1 million girls, but not her anymore. She's been left behind, forgotten, or that's how she feels. So yeah, cool and a fun tune and a bit, not unlike ABBA, which, I'm careful as I keep going through this about making comparisons like that too many times. But one of the reasons I feel like it's appropriate here is because ABBA do have those songs where it's like, it's sad subject matter, but it's like a fun, groovy tune. This was very much that, or at least as I took it. So I like clever tracks like that don't give you something obvious and straight away, and they sort of play with it, where it's like, again, to make another comparison, there's a lot of like Smith songs where they're like floaty and light, and it feels, very pleasing, and then you hear what Morrissey's saying, and you're like, oh man, that's dark. So, yeah, I do like when tracks play with expectations in terms of sonic atmosphere like that. So, shout out once again to Arabesque, shout out once again to Chafic. Let me know what you think, and Luca and I will see you next time. Peace.